And this is welcome to the radio station. This is the basement of Live with Kelly and Ryan, where I built a radio station.
I love that you're able to just go from one thing to the other and so easily.
I will tell you, this morning we finished the show at 9:59 upstairs, and I was on the air at 7. So it was 9:59, and then it was all of a sudden 7:03 because I was going live to the west. So the day never. Right now it's only 11:03 in this room.
Wow. Now, everybody had to slow down. Obviously, everybody was home for so long. Even you, did you find that you had less going on, or were you still crazy busy but at home?
No, I found I actually had more going on. I found, especially at the beginning, we fortunately for, in terms of work, everything stayed on and active and live and daily. And on the weekends, there was the singing show, that I host too. But there were also a lot of requests to do extra specials and do things for our partners because everyone was going through a tough time. So we leaned into doing as much as we could to help other shows out and other partners in our different businesses out. So I found myself very busy and grateful about it,
Wow. So in a pandemic, you were busier. You had more
I
going
actually
on.
was.
That's incredible.
I actually was. The one thing that I didn't have as much of was lunch in the air. I had more meals on the ground on planet Earth than I did in the blue sky.
Right. And are you spending more time in New York now? Or are you still?
Well, it's about the same. For example, I'm looking down at my computer to see what day it is. For example, it's Monday. Yesterday I was in Los Angeles shooting for American Idol, and Wednesday night I'll go back to Los Angeles. So it does depend on the week, but it's about the same over the last 4.5 years. It's been pretty split.
Wow. I don't know how you do it. Congrats on 10 years of your organization.
Thank you.
Seacrest Studios.
Thank you.
I saw you just opened the 11th, right?
We just opened the 11th studio at the Children's Hospital in Orlando, Arnold Palmer Hospital there. We surprised the patients with Justin Bieber. So it was very exciting to let them just take over the Zoom and say hi to him and ask him questions. So we're very it's probably the most important. It is the most important work of all the things you're talking about on my plate and work. That's probably the most important.
And you started it with your family, just like talking at dinner?
Yeah, well, I started it. I'd gone to Children's Hospital of Orange County, and I went to go see the patients, and then I would always talk to the families, dads, moms that were standing outside the room. And one thing that I don't think I realized was how this weighs on not only the patient but the families and the support group too. That spend night after night with their kids sometimes that are getting some treatment. So I think the notion was walking away that day thinking, how do we create a physical space in a hospital where anybody who's there feels like they're not in a hospital? And that is where the concept of a studio came up.
And so what do you feel they get out of it by doing it? What do they?
Well, I have heard many different things about what patients get out of it. One, they get to be creative. Two, they get to be out of their routine, right? And they have very serious routines many times in the hospitals. There are other stories from parents that have seen their children in a hospital bed without motivation to get up. They were sad, and they didn't want to go do anything. And then, when we could bring Selena Gomez through a studio, that patient all of a sudden wants to get up and go downstairs and spend time with Selena Gomez and forget about maybe the pain they're mentally feeling and physically feeling. So I think those are the stories that are so great to hear.
And it's amazing how many celebrities you've gotten to take part over the years. I remember one year, I think we got to film it. It was Taylor Swift.
Taylor opened Nashville. Yeah, Taylor opened Nashville. Selena did Philadelphia. Everyone from Justin to Coldplay have come through, and I too am blown away by the names that come in. And remember, they're literally all in the same room, and if they can't be in the same room, the patients can call in and talk to whoever's in the studio.
And so you just opened the 11th. Are you already thinking about, okay, number 12, 13, you know?
Yeah, we are. We are thinking domestically and internationally with the concept. So I think that's on our plate. And I also want to network them all together and create this almost closed but open circuit of content for patients specifically. So much like you go local for a newscast and then you have your national programming, eventually we'll have enough support and resources to program a network for the children's hospitals and even the ones that can't have a physical studio.
That's incredible. That would be so great.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
So it must feel so good when you hear the positive feedback and know that, you know, you're helping someone feel like they have purpose besides just doctors prodding at them. And
I think to learn how creative the patients are and how ambitious they are. I mean, they're in the hospital and they're sick doesn't mean their ambition is waning. I mean, they really want to do things and they're aspiring to do things. And I think it's exciting to see them light up when they get a chance to do something that they love to do, whether that's, you know, playing a game, whether that's creating a game, whether that's doing the interview, whether that's seeing a celebrity. So, you know, there's all of that. And we have everyone who works in the studio. Many of them are interns at local colleges.